Hello, good evening. I'm back to my channel, Just Me, Amaria, and I would like first to thank all those viewers as well as those who subscribe to my channel. I have now 340 plus subscribers, and thank you very much. You have found my YouTube a little bit informative, perhaps useful to you in your study. Thank you so much, and I would like to give special thanks to Miss Yao. No? Thank you very much, Miss Yao. Uh, this is, I have decided na that until June 30, I would be blogging on Dr. Jose Rizal. Because there are so many things that we must have to know about Dr. Jose Rizal. Of course, other heroes also, but that would come later on in the next blogs that I would be having. But this time, I would like to talk of Rizal and Dapitan because Dapitan was something that was the life of Rizal is spent on Dapitan was one of the saddest perhaps in his life, but it was also one of the most productive episodes in the life of Dr. Jose Rizal. And I have written down 4 questions which might steer our minds, our thinking about Dr. Rizal and Dapitan itself. And I would like to give you this question. The first question is, what is Dapitan to Dr. Jose Rizal? And what was the life of Dr. Jose Rizal in Dapitan? How did Dr. Jose Rizal spend his life in Dapitan? And how did he transform Dapitan? If you were Dr. Rizal and you were exiled in a remote area, so different from the place where you have grown up, from the place that from the place where you used to be, what would you do? How would you feel? And the last question is, can you be a Rizal? This is a challenge to young people. Can you be a Rizal? And so, these are some of the questions I thought of presenting to you. Now, let me go direct to this Dapitan and Rizal. No? The Dapitan of Rizal. Okay. So, we know very well that Rizal went back. In my last vlog, Rizal went back to the Philippines because he would like to be with the people, with his countrymen, and he knew that the country, the nation, was sick, and there was a need for it to be cured. And the doctor who must cure the nation must be where the person who is sick was. And so Rizal, comparing the country to a sick person who needed a doctor, a medical attention, he decided to come back to the Philippines. And when he came back, the first thing that he did was to organize the La Liga Filipina, and that was on July 3, 1892. After he went around the Luzon particularly, and he found out how popular he had become. It's because of his two novels, the Noli and the El Filibusterismo. And so he decided to put up the La Liga Filipina, the constitution of which he formulated together with Jose Maria Basa in Hong Kong. And with it organized, he was sure that the country would be united into one homogeneous body. But he was arrested. He was arrested by the authorities on July 6, 1892, days after the organization of the La Liga Filipina, because of the friars, the Dominicans, most specifically, because of the what they call that, they call it in Filipino paskin, carrying pobres frailes, no, pobres frailes, poor friars, which a sort of a ridicule of the Dominican friars. It was really, the material was planted in the hotel where Rizal was staying in his luggage. That was done in order that Governor General Dispuhol would be forced to arrest Dr. Jose Rizal. And so the friars succeeded in having Rizal arrested by Dispuhol. Rizal was put in prison in Port Santiago, but Rizal described his imprisonment there before his transport to Dapitan as he was well taken care of naman, according to Dr. Jose Rizal. He was treated well, no, by the Guardia Civils in his jail. Then on July 14, he was brought to the Dapitan secretly because the government, Dispuhol, was afraid that the friars might do something to have Rizal assassinated. So they decided to have Rizal secretly taken out of Port Santiago for his trip, or his exile, no? For his exile to Dapitan. That was July 14, 1892. And on July 17, 1892, Dapitan saw the coming of Rizal, and Rizal saw Dapitan. So, let us now try to find out where is Dapitan, and how was Dapitan at the time Rizal was exiled there. So Dapitan actually was a town during the time of Rizal in the province of Zamboanga del Norte. Now it is a component city. Dapitan city now is a component city of Zamboanga del Norte. And Dapitan is situated at the mouth of the Dapitan River on Dapitan Bay. Dapitan was founded by the Jesuit, by a Jesuit priest by the name of Father Pedro Gutierrez in 1629. And the people in Dapitan, they speak Chabacano. Until today, they speak Chabacano, Subanon, Cebuano, and Tagalog. And you might be asking, why was Dapitan the place of exile of Dapitan, of Rizal? Why was Dapitan the place of exile of Dr. Jose Rizal? Why was this the place chosen for Rizal to be deported to? I would say that it was chosen to be the place of exile of Dr. Jose Rizal because Dapitan was a Jesuit mission town. It was founded by the Jesuit. It was a mission town, a Jesuit mission town, and the friars also believed. You know, the Jesuits, they were close to Dr. Jose Rizal. Dr. Jose Rizal was close to the Jesuits because Rizal himself was a Jesuit-educated person, being an Atenean. So they were thinking that if Rizal would be exiled in a Jesuit mission community, the friars would be able to convert or to transform Rizal and bring him back to the fold of the Catholic religion. That was, from my point of view, the intention, and from the readings that I did, I read somehow that was the intention of why Dapitan was chosen as the place of exile of Dr. Jose Rizal. Now, when Rizal arrived in Dapitan, when he was sent there, we might be asking, was Rizal ready to a place to live in a place like Dapitan? Of course, we would be saying that Rizal was not ready. Rizal actually was not expecting that he would be exiled in Dapitan. But his 4 years in Dapitan was not in vain. Although I would say that I believe that in the few days or few weeks or perhaps months of Rizal's stay in Dapitan, he was miserable. He might have felt miserable because Dapitan was a remote place, away from Luzon, from his family. He would be living in a place away from his family, and he went back to the Philippines because he would like to be also with his family, to be of service to his people. But now he was taken away from his family, and in a place where it would be hard for the family to go there because it would take hours, days. The ship left Manila July 14. It reached Dapitan July 17, midnight. So quite a long travel, unlike today. At a short hour of travel will be in Dapitan. Very easy to reach Dapitan. So Rizal, I believe, felt miserable at the start. But the person that he was, Rizal would not want to be imprisoned to his misery. And he would not want to be unproductive just because he was placed there. He would make his life a wasted life. No. And Rizal perhaps might be thinking of what he had written in one of his what he had written in one of the articles or essays that he had written, that wherein he said that a life that is not consecrated to a lofty ideal is a wasted life. Would he want his life to be wasted just because he was put there, he was exiled there? So Rizal thought otherwise. I have to be productive. I would not want to spend my life to be a life of waste. Not so brilliant a man, so promising a man. He should be doing something in Dapitan. And when he observed Dapitan, when he realized how lifeless Dapitan was, how colorless life in Dapitan was, how unproductive the people were in Dapitan, Rizal made already a resolve. I would transform Dapitan. And he did that. When Rizal arrived in Dapitan, he lived for a while with Ricardo Carnicero, the politico-military general of that place. It was the decision actually was for Rizal to live with the Jesuit missionary house, but there were so many conditions that being imposed that Rizal must have to observe, and Rizal would not like to definitely put himself into that situation that he would be turning away from what he had already written, from what he had from his thinking. And he decided to stay with Carnicero for a while. And how did Rizal separate from Carnicero after sometimes? It's because Carnicero and Rizal became very good friends. And Carnicero developed very high regards and respect for Dr. Rizal. And one of the things that Rizal was very fond of actually was trying his luck in the lottery. And they tried their luck, Carnicero and another Dapitanos by the name of Francisco Iquilior rather. And they purchased a ticket, and the ticket fortunately won a prize. And the prize was 20,000 pesos. Wow! That was a big amount during that time. And they divided the amount among the three of them. Rizal got 6,200 share from the prize, and Rizal decided to send 2,000 pesos to his father Francisco, and for whatever reason he sent Jose Maria Basa in Hong Kong 200 pesos, and the rest, yung natira sa kanya, what was left to him, he decided to purchase vast of lands in Talisay. It was here in Talisay where he decided to construct three houses, iba-ibang of different sizes, of different shapes rather, no? And the first one was the one which served as his residence, together with his mother, with his sister Theodora, with his nephew in Dapitan. Now you would be asking, why were the mother, the sister, and a nephew in Dapitan? They followed Rizal. They went to Rizal. They would spend their vacation there, because even if Rizal was sent to Dapitan or exiled in Dapitan, there was no prohibition for the relatives to come and visit him, for him to entertain his relatives. And there was no prohibition for him to be going around and doing what he would like to do in Dapitan, for as long as he would ask and inform the politico-military general Carnicero of what he would like to do, of where he would be going. There would be some kind of regular reporting of his activities and the people coming to his house or visiting him. So there was no prohibition. Actually, he could not be considered a total prisoner because he was that kind of freedom also of movement. And the three houses, going back to the three houses of different sizes and shapes, the first house will serve as his residence and that of his relatives. Is the Casa Residencia, which is a square house. And then the other house was the Casa Redonda, which is a octagonal house. And this particular Casa Redonda was where the students of Rizal at first lived. However, later on, Rizal decided to convert this particular Casa Redonda into his clinic. And there was another one, the house known as the Casa Quadrada, the hexagonal house. This served as the dormitory of his children, of his students. The students actually started from 3. Then it increased to 16, and then it became 21. Rizal was injecting or using a different kind of curriculum in his school. His small school in Dapitan with those number of students who were not studying, so he enticed them to go back and study, because that was one of the reasons why Rizal made himself productive in Dapitan. First, he would like to transform Dapitan into an alive, a bright, and colorful town, to make the people productive, and they to teach, not to make the students, the young people there who were not studying, be thought of to be taught how to read, how to write. And this actually were the programs of in Rizal's curriculum, which is a combination of academic and vocational, because he wanted the students to not only to know theories, but to apply theories as they are also learning. So it was a complete curriculum that Rizal had. It was a combination. There was humanities, there was values, there was arithmetic, there was reading, there was the teaching of languages like Spanish and English. There was the teaching of sabi ko na ba, humanities, and there was sports. It really was a very complete curriculum. And when he admitted his students, if we have entrance tests now, the entrance test of Rizal at that time was to test the students, how courageous the students, how sharp their minds were, by bringing them to the forest, and then leaving them there. But he was around, but he would not let the children see him, because they wanted him to use their intellect, how to get out of the forest. Will they be afraid? So if they failed in the test of Rizal, they would not be admitted as students in the school of Rizal, where Rizal never or did not charge them any tuition, but they would live with him, and they help him in his community projects, which serve also as their practicum. And Rizal would also in his school, he would not just confine the students in the school that he had in his big vast of land in Talisay, but he would bring them to the forest, he would bring them to the mountains, he would bring them to the seashores for them to study the plants, for them to study the insects, the shells, and everything, because he believed that education should not be confined only in the four walls of a classroom. And he would like his students to be happy learning, because ever since Rizal believed that the classroom should never be a torture chamber for the students. And when you confine your students only to the four walls of the classroom, you don't so much give them the opportunity to explore their environment. And Rizal wanted them to explore their environment. Likewise, he taught them sports, boxing, fencing, wrestling, swimming, because he believed that the sharpness of the mind depends also on the condition of the physique of the individuals. And so Rizal had a very complete curriculum, and his students really learned from him so much. And Rizal enjoyed teaching his students, transferring to them what he had also learned. And Rizal had a very busy life. At the start, he had a very busy life in Dapitan, and he wrote this. He described his life in Dapitan to Ferdinand Blumentritt in one of his letters to him. He said to Blumentritt that at 5 o'clock he would be up, and he would be watering his plants, then he would be feeding his chickens, and then he would be at 7, he would wake up his companions, including his students, for them to ready themselves for the day's works. And then after eating breakfast at 7 o'clock, he would ride his boroto on his way to the town proper in order to visit his patients. And after checking on his patients and curing them and treating them, he would go back to his place, to his house, and then would have his lunch with his with them, with his mother, with Trinidad, with his nephew, and the students. And then at 2 to 4 o'clock, he would be teaching the students. This will be their formal education. And then after that, in the afternoon at 4 o'clock, he would be farming. He would till the soil. He would do farming. And then in the evening, after supper, he would be reading, studying, and he was analyzing the Tagalog, the Balarila, not the Tagalog, Balarila, because he would like to have develop a Balarilang Tagalog, which he believed would be the foundation of the national language of the Philippines. So that was how Rizal described his life in his day to Dr. Blumentritt. So organized, so productive. How about our young people today? Could you be as organized in your life? Could you have a day like that in the day of the national hero during the first few months of his stay in Dapitan? Organized life, disciplined life, productive life. So I will be stopping my blog here about Rizal in Dapitan, because I don't think I can continue because it's quite long already. I will have a part 2 on Monday, or if not tomorrow, it will be on Monday. And this will be centering on how Rizal transformed Dapitan. What were the things that Rizal did in Dapitan, which definitely would be an eye-opener for all of us, because we can always be a Rizal. I believe that. I don't know if other young people today, or the young people of today, would believe that they can be a Rizal. But after you have heard this, perhaps until next Monday, perhaps you would realize that you can be a Rizal. You can always be a Rizal. You can transform a community on your own. You can make a community come into life. You can make a community be productive. You can make the people be productive. And that was how Rizal, that was what Rizal did in Dapitan. So, for now, I would like to say good night to everyone. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And thank you once again. And I hope that you will enjoy learning from me, just me, Amalia. Good night.